The city of Corpus Christi has lost more than 90% of its water from Choke Canyon Reservoir in Lake Corpus Christi. Rain isn't replacing it. We haven't had enough. We've gone through stage 1, stage 2, and now we're in stage 3. In about 9 months, we could be in a level 1 water emergency. City leaders have said efforts like the Evangeline groundwater project could provide some of the millions of gallons of water we need daily to hold off on even stricter water use restrictions. But today, there is doubt. The shadow of curtailment is looming even larger in our future. KRIS 6 News starts right now. Well, the city of Corpus Christi has about 9 months to ensure it has enough water to prevent curtailment. A late-night development has put that effort in jeopardy. The city of Sinton and the St. Paul Water Supply Corporation have filed protests against the Evangeline groundwater project. Now, more on that later, but first, senior neighborhood news reporter Suzanne Stevens, who broke that story on KRISTV.com late last night, joins me in the studio now. Suzanne, you've been on top of this for months now, right? Obviously. Why is Evangeline project such an important project for the puzzle?
Well, Claire, Evangeline was supposed to be a groundwater project that was going to keep us out of level 1 water emergency. The city was hopeful with that. It was supposed to supply 12 million gallons a day to start, with the option to double, the city paying $169 million for water rights alone. But before any drilling or transport can begin, Evangeline still needs final permits. Now, those permits are being formally challenged with these protests, putting the project's timeline under pressure. City Manager Peter Zanoni warned earlier this year just how critical this timeline was.
If the permits are delayed much beyond February 6th, that means the project doesn't start, and then the end date of trying to get water beginning in November won't happen. And so it increases the risk that the region will go into curtailment.
So that warning puts the timeline up front and center and kind of where the project stands right now.
Alrighty, so when people hear about these protests and delays, what exactly does that mean for the project right now?
Well, it means Evangeline can't continue on the timeline that it was scheduled for. In fact, according to understate groundwater rules, protests have to be resolved before construction can begin. Now, this timeline is shifting into the future, and that is something the city cannot afford right now.
So you said Evangeline project promised 12 million gallons per day and then 24, but you've discovered something recently about how much water is realistically available.
That is true. I have spoken to 2 top city officials who tell me the amount of water promised by Evangeline is actually much lower than the 12 million gallons a day that it promised. It's closer to 4 million gallons a day. So that actually calls into question whether the project would have helped curtailment in the first place. Now, to put it clearly, the city needs 60 million gallons of new water a day to avoid a level 1 emergency by November. Any deviation from that puts us right in the middle of that emergency.
Alrighty, so what now?
That is the million-dollar question. Now, the city still doesn't have its groundwater program, right? It has an eastern well field along the Nueces River that's pulling approximately 8 million gallons a day from the Evangeline aquifer. And then you have the western well fields where there are another 12 wells under construction right now. They're in different phases right now. And next Tuesday, City Council will consider extending that western well field on private land so they can add additional wells and hopefully bring in more water that they're losing with Evangeline. Now, with Evangeline stalled and desal still years away, it seems the city's groundwater project is the path forward, but that was just supposed to be temporary.
All right, Suzanne, well, thank you so much for this update. Now, we want to dive deeper into the Evangeline project permit challenge. Adam Beam has that part of the story.
I'm your Sinton neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. It's no secret that the Evangeline aquifer is a critical piece of Corpus Christi's plan to avoid curtailment, but a protest filed here may put that plan in jeopardy.
24 million gallons a day. That's what Corpus Christi city leaders hope to pull from San Patricio County, an amount the city of Sinton has been vocally against as far back as August.
So we plan on contesting every single well permit, and we will absolutely contest the transport. But pulling groundwater is not the solution for Corpus Christi.
But with the November deadline approaching, having the wells online and groundwater pumping could be the difference between recovery and curtailment.
And then the end date of trying to get water beginning in November won't happen. And so it increases the risk that the region will go into curtailment.
On Monday, KRIS 6 learned that the city of Sinton filed their formal protest against the project's drilling and transport permits. Permits whose fate will now be decided by the San Patricio Patricio County Groundwater Conservation District. With so much riding on the project, I caught up with City Manager John Hobson, who tells me the city's stance is clear.
We're not protesting, trying to deny access of water to the region. The unregulated extraction of groundwater, that is our focus, not Corpus Christi's curtailment.
He also tells me that no matter the outcome of the district's vote, Sinton will continue to work with Corpus Christi to find a solution that can benefit everyone. But as the project stands now, their residents take priority.
We're doing the same thing that the city of Corpus is doing. We're protecting the rights of our residents to have water, just as the city of Corpus is doing.
The San Patricio County Groundwater Conservation District will be voting on these permits on Friday. I'll be at that meeting getting the latest for neighbors. Reporting in Sinton, I'm Adam Beam for KRIS 6 News.
Adam, thank you. If we go into a level 1 water emergency, City of Corpus Christi water customers could face curtailment. Simply put, it means our water would be drastically cut back by the city. According to the city's drought contingency plan, a level 1 water emergency can be declared by the city manager or a designee. It can be declared if it's determined that the city is within 180 days of not being able to meet its water demands under curtailment. Water use would be reduced by 25%. Residential water customers would face a monthly charge of $4 for every 1,000 gallons above 7,000 gallons. The city would also contact wholesale and large volume water users about mandatory measures to reduce their water consumption. Under level 1 water emergency curtailment measures, watering of all landscape areas would be prohibited. Use of water to wash vehicles, motorcycles, boats, trailers, or other vehicles would be banned for businesses. Use of water for things not related to their business process would also be prohibited. Now, for example, equipment washing would not be allowed. Well, another water source we rely on has been hit and miss for months, even years. We're talking about rain. Meteorologist Stephanie Lauber joins us right now. And do we have anybody or,
Well, 7-day forecast is not a good pivot for this conversation because I don't have good news for rainfall in regard to that, but we can get a little insight from the climate. There is a silver lining with that. So let's talk about one of the major climate patterns, teleconnections that we tend to look at, which is ENSO, the El Nino Southern Oscillation. So this is your El Nino, La Nina, or what I like to call in the neutral phase, La Nada, which is kind of what we're shifting into right now. We are leaving a La Nina pattern, and that's what you're seeing on this. It's basically a forecast for how that pattern may shift. I want to point out these red bars here. It looks like as we head through the summer months, there's a higher probability that we could be seeing a change into an El Nino pattern. But before that, we are going to be seeing more of an ENSO neutral kind of pattern. So what does that mean for Texas as an entire state? Generally, during a neutral phase, we tend to see some wetter conditions up in the DFW area, out by Beaumont. Not a whole lot going on for here other than warmer temperatures. Our subtropical jet stream, kind of the highway for storms, isn't quite ideal for us. But if we are able to shift into an El Nino by the later part of the year, that does benefit us. We tend to see cooler than normal conditions. That subtropical jet stream comes down closer to the coastal bend, and we see wetter than normal conditions all around Texas. And guess what also happens toward the end of the year? Our wet season. So that could be a perfect example for us, but will it happen? Oh, time will tell. I'll give you a look at that 7-day forecast ahead.